Well, hello, everybody. I wanted to bring a new matter to your attention with the COVID-19. There's some things that happened with the tax laws that you guys really know and need to know about. And to help us with that is my good friend, Damion Lupo. Damion, what's going on today?
Man, you know what's going on is a great opportunity. I'm all excited to share this with you and the listeners.
I know you are. So what's going on right now? What's legislation that's passed that affects 401k and taxes?
Well, basically, in March, the Congress passed the CARES Act, and that opened up a whole bunch of spending, $2 trillion for things like the PPP we've heard about and such. There was a very specific part of that 800-page bill that focused on retirement accounts. So two big things that are going to impact a lot of us listening, a lot of the listeners now. The first one was that we can actually take up to $100,000 out of any retirement account, including one you're working at right now or an IRA, pull it out, and then we have two options with it. One, we can put it back into a retirement account within 3 years, or we can keep the money and we pay taxes over the next 3 years. So what this did is this one thing allowed people to go to their employer and say, "Hey, I want to take 100,000 out," and then they can get self-direction. They can put it into an EQRP next week. So this gives them options outside of mutual funds because of the disbursement, or if they need to actually use the money for their life or business. But it opened up 100,000 from any retirement account to be able to pull out right now.
That's pretty amazing, right? Because normally we had to pay interest, penalties, and that kind of stuff. And now we can draw $100,000. We can do a bunch of stuff with it. Right? The government created this so in case we need some kind of liquidity for some reason, which is really cool. And then we either put it back to where it came from, or better yet, we put it into this QRP, which is you're a big proponent of, which is another tax product as well, which is a retirement product. So it doesn't matter. It go back where it came, or better yet, put in a QRP. Or you distribute your interest and penalties over 3 years, which is really amazing because before you weren't able to do that. What else? That's really amazing.
Well, and to follow up on that one, there are no penalties, which is really great because normally, if you could get the money, it was a 10% penalty. Now there's no penalties, and so when you pull it out, you get to quote unquote roll it over, and you have 3 years to roll it over. So that's what you're doing. You're rolling it over back into its original, or you're putting it into anything else that you want that's a qualified plan like the EQRP. So it gives you a lot of flexibility. And Michael, you don't even have to choose what you're doing until next April of next year. So you have a year to sit on this 100,000, do what you need to do, and then you can decide: am I keeping it? Am I rolling it over? A lot of flexibility there.
That is fantastic. What else? What else is new? That's a
Well,
lot.
it's a great thing. And one of the things that this actually impacted was federal employees that have thrift savings plans, the TSPs, because those were basically locked down. They just announced in the last week that they're going to allow people to do a disbursement. And the other thing that I'm going to share, so you can go to the TSP website. And so if you're a federal employee, you're like, "Oh, I have money in that thing." You may be able to start directing it. And so that's the first 100,000. The second 100,000 is the loan. And this is only for thrift savings plans, 401ks. It does not apply to IRAs. What it does is it changes the loan. It used to be $50,000 or 50% of your money you could borrow, and then you pay it back over 5 years. What they said was, we're going to let you borrow up to 100,000 or all of your money, whichever's less, and pay it back over 6 years. First year, no payments. So that's if you have a 401k or an EQRP or a thrift savings plan, you could potentially get up to $200,000 now, not make a single payment for a year. And if you already have a loan out of a 401k or an EQRP, there's no payments for 2020. So a lot of flexibility. And if you're trying to figure out, wait, what did he just say? I just said there's a lot of money sitting there that you can tap into right now if you actually have some sitting stuck.
Well, I mean, right now, I mean, if you have a 401k with a current employer, you're not supposed to do anything with it. You can't even self-direct it at that point. So this is also applied to 401ks with your existing employer right now.
Absolutely. You go to them and you say, "Hey, do you guys," it requires a plan amendment, which is generally like a one-page thing that says we're allowing the CARES Act amendment option so people can pull money out with a loan or a disbursement. So you just have to ask them. Some companies aren't, some are. You just have to ask the administrator of the plan, "Do you have this option?" And when the thrift savings plan, which is the biggest one in the country, when they said yes, it put a lot of pressure on private companies. So really, it's a question of you asking, and maybe it's already there, or maybe they'll switch it for you.
Well, this is great. So you can use your retirement money you have in a loan to bridge over any gap you have in employment or anything else going on, and of course to take advantage of opportunities. So this is pretty cool. So we can have $100,000 to $200,000 in liquidity where there really was none before. And again, you put it back where it came, or you put it in the QRP, or you pay your interest without penalties over the next 3 years. Did I get that right?
So if you take it out and you put it back in with a disbursement,
No
there's
penalties.
no there's no penalties, there's no payments, there's no interest. It's just literally sitting in your account. And one little bonus that I wasn't planning on throwing in here, but if you pulled out 100,000 or even 200,000, there's something called the net operating loss carryback, and you could go and buy some real estate in 2020 and get some bonus depreciation and use that depreciation to potentially get the taxes you paid in 2015 back. So this is a big deal to be able to use all these rules together, and you need a team. I mean, this is where we come into play. We all work together to get you your money you paid the last 5 years back, and to tackle and get money that you already had stuck. So lots of really cool things have happened with Congress. I mean, usually it's not very good, but this is actually pretty good.
This is pretty good. Yeah. So just for people who come in, what's this QRP thing? Just so you guys know your IRA, you can invest with the IRA, but did you know you can actually be taxed in your IRA? That's right. So this thing called UBIT tax, right? Which I didn't even know this existed, but you can actually be taxed in your IRA when a property you invested in is sold. And it can be substantial, right? 35 whatever percent of the money that you made is taxed. That's crazy. It happened to me 10 years ago, and I couldn't believe it. And the solution to that is this QRP that Damion is really excited about. And you guys, it's a plan that you offer, and we're advising all of our passive investors to move their IRA from wherever it is. I don't care if it's self-directed or not, from there into a QRP, because number one, you avoid the UBIT. That's the biggest thing. But you can also sign your own documents, which is a giant pain when you're making an investment. It can take sometimes 5 to 10 days to get your administrator to sign the documents. By that, the deal is subscribed fully. And so the QRP solves all that stuff. So Damion, right. So if you guys are interested in learning more about the QRP, Damion's got a book that he's crazy enough to give away for free. You can get it at themichaelblunt.com/QRP, and you can actually literally request a softcover book from Damion. If you're ready to schedule a call with him, go to themichaelblunt.com/QRP-call, and you'll actually speak to Damion's team to find out more about this and potentially set up a QRP. I'm really excited about that. Damion, thanks for sharing this today. It's really awesome.
Yeah, I'm happy to share it, man. It's good to be back and great to help everybody listening.
Hey, and before you leave, make sure you subscribe to my channel below. We put out videos every single week, and you don't want to miss it. Also, if you haven't done so already, grab my free ebook here, okay? It's The Secret to Raising Money to Buy Your First Apartment Building Deal. It's a good one, so grab that. And hey, check out another video.